Yeah, hi, this is Pradam from Controltrends India, and I hope you all have been enjoying all the posts and information that I have been putting up on the website. I'm also very excited by your response and support so far, and I'm more excited, or rather elated, at a new announcement that I'm just about to make. We are starting up a new talk show called Control Talk Now with Pradam. It's going to be a weekly podcast which would cover all the events and happenings around our industry. And I would have at least one guest every week who would be a thought leader or stalwart or a stakeholder of our industry. So let me get started. Let me invite my first guest on this show, and no points to guess that one. We have the very own legends in their right. Please welcome the charming and charismatic Eric Stromquist.
Hey, Samir. How you doing, buddy?
And as Eric would or rather put it, the myth, the legend, the one and only Kenny Smyers.
Thank you very much, Samir. Thank you very much. It's good to hear from you again. I think you're doing great stuff. So thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Great. I must admit, both of you have so many admirers and followers in India. I mean, it's amazing. You've done half my job or 3/4 of my job, where wherever I go and I say Controltrends and say, oh, that's Eric and Ken. We already know that.
Nice.
So that's amazing, the kind of popularity that you have. So today I would like to ask the first question to Eric, because the viewers in India would like to know about Eric, his businesses, and his success story. Eric, over to you.
Well, thanks very much, Samir. I appreciate it. I'm in a family business. My father started it about 60 years ago. So we do distribution of everything from Honeywell controls to Johnson controls, Link Spring, all the building automation controls. We do flame safeguard, burner boiler controls, and industrial controls. So in the state of Georgia and Florida, we're really big. So we have, just like a regular distributor with everybody sort of out and about selling stuff. And Controltrends was sort of created, Samir, because I used to walk through my offices all the time, and I would hear my inside salespeople, and they'd be saying, no, you have to look on the back of that controller to find the part number. And I'd hear them explaining the same problems over and over, right? So at one point in time, I said, hey, somebody go get a video camera. We should just video these so that, instead of you trying to explain where things are located or how to do something, we could just send a video. Well, after about the 100th time of asking somebody to get a video camera and nobody doing it, I got frustrated. I went to the store and bought my first video camera. And about 3 days later, I figured out how to turn it on. And about a month later, I actually was able to make some videos. So that's sort of how the video portion got started.
Awesome. Eric, tell us something about your training facility at Atlanta, because that's where I have been personally there, but I would like the viewers to really know, because it's an awesome facility that you have there.
Well, thanks so much, Amir. Well, we believe training is one of the keys. We've done training since day one. Now, one of the challenges that we sort of feel with training, Samir, is that not everybody has the time. We're all so busy, right? So it's very, very difficult to drop what you're doing and go to a training class. Although, if you can do that, that's the best case scenario. So what we've sort of done in Atlanta is we've really sort of tricked out our training room. It's a very modern training room with all kinds of audio-visual equipment. And what we're able to do is we're able actually to live stream the training. So if you can't make a training class, Samir, you could actually be remote. You could be anywhere in the world and watch a training class, and then we monitor like a Twitter feed. So if you have a question, you could ask a question. So the beauty of that is that, if you can't actually be physically at our training facility, you could actually be real time watching it from anywhere in the world. And then on top of that, if you can't even do that, we archive the videos and make them available from now on. So if you can't make it or can't be there to do the live stream, then you can watch the video later on.
Awesome. This would be news to the Indian viewers, because I think, the kind of training initiatives you're bringing in is truly awesome.
Thank you.
Kenny, Yeah. Kenny, over to you. Would like to know about you, DMS Controls, and what you do.
Well, certainly. Like Eric, I came from a family business. Started out, 7, 8 years old, cleaning the office, that sort of thing. Watched the whole industry kind of evolve. My grandfather started the business, and he was in since 1927, and the industry was very, very different then. So as I got older, I realized I started graduating from the School of Hard Knocks and started, graduating into the School of Networking. And I met Eric back in 1994 at Johnson Controls meeting, and knew Eric was a little bit different. He's a little bit, he had a different viewpoint from the traditional monolithic mindset. This is how we did it. This is how we're going to do it. And I realized that, that this evolving industry required a more liberal and a more intellectual approach towards staying alive in the distribution business. There were so many forces going on economically. So unfortunately, our family business transitioned into several different businesses. And my brother Dave and I started the DMS Controls Group in 2014. And we're members of Controls Group North America. And this is where I really learned about networking and collaboration. So I went, in my lifetime, I've watched, it's like the space program. The first time they launched the Sputnik and then the Americans put a man on the moon. We've watched the control industry evolve from next day air used to be when they put boxes on Greyhound buses and delivered them from Pittsburgh to Ohio to the steel mills in Michigan and in the big Rust Belt area of the United States, to this amazing next day air where you could put a box into a brown truck and then 8 hours later it's being delivered if it was necessary. And so we've seen this, the whole world sped up and got very interesting. And then I was very fortunate to continue my relationship with Eric. He started Controltrends. He sat me down by a pool in Las Vegas and said, we need to bring more notoriety and glamour into our industry. We have a fabulous entree of intelligent people that really truly make our world modern. We take everything for granted. You hit a light switch, you expect it to work. You go over to the tap, you expect that hot water to be hot and not scalding. But we never took the time to recognize the people in our industry, how valuable and how important and how hardworking they were. So 40 years later, these guys would get their watches and a kick in the butt. We'll see you later, bring in the next guy. And nobody knew what these people in the HVAC building automation world did. And so that's when Eric asked me to help join forces with him to create the Controltrends, the video and the Hollywood aspect of
it. Kenny, what's your experience on the Niagara 4 adaptation so far in your projects?
Well, as Eric always says, Ed Merwin from Tritium came to Pittsburgh, and basically we were in a dark room until Ed explained to us the virtues of tritium in Niagara. Prior to that, the world was all protocol specific. It was like the war of the protocols. You were either the color red, the color blue, the color orange, or the color, just you were identified by your affiliation to one single manufacturer. And what Tritium and AX did, what Niagara did, I say AX was actually the third generation of Niagara software. But Tritium introduced a protocol solver. It could take different protocols and then use proxy points and make a universal object-based language that now we could integrate different systems. So we could take the red color with the blue color, and all of a sudden we could really truly integrate buildings. So Tritium in Niagara, especially this third generation AX and now Niagara 4, have revolutionized the integration of the smart, intelligent, connected building. In fact, they made it possible. There's other protocols or there's other companies out there that do similar things, but they're more in an industrial level or they're more in a secular level. But as far as a global platform, I think Niagara platform changed all of our lives.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you, Eric and Kenny, for sharing your success stories with our viewers. My next question would be I think it's on the lips of each and every viewer who comes across is, how did the concept of Controltrends conceive in your mind? And just tell us all about it.
Well, I tell you, Samir, I wish I could say it was all altruistic, but essentially, after I got the video camera and started doing the videos, I started putting them up on YouTube so that our customers or our people could, access them. And then one day, and this goes back about 10 years, I was noticing on the internet that anytime I typed in, like, for example, Honeywell or Johnson Controls, Georgia, Stromquist and Company, my company never showed up. So I asked them, I said, why aren't we showing up on Google? And they said, well, you just don't have good SEO. And so, I kind of went, SEO? well, am I smelling bad or something? What's the deal here? What's SEO? So they explained it was search engine optimization. And then I said, how do you get search engine optimization? And they said, well, the best way is to get a blog. So I created the blog Controltrends to sort of do that. And that quickly sort of morphed into when Kenny and I had that fateful conversation at, oddly enough, a Niagara Summit in Las Vegas, down by the pool. We really realized that we had a great industry. We had great people in the industry that were doing great things, and they were sort of under-recognized. So, really the mission for Controltrends right now, Samir, is to sort of educate the industry, but also shine a spotlight on all the key players in our industry, because I think we have really incredible people, incredible technologies, and I don't think our industry gets its due. So that's sort of how it morphed. It was just kind of nothing until Kenny came along, and then once he got involved, of course, being the man, the myth, the legend, things took off. So.
Sure. Awesome. It's incredible because, I mean, coming up something like this, while handling the day jobs, I mean, it's something truly awesome. Tell us what does the near future hold in terms of what new events are you going to be attending or covering, or have you recently covered?
Well, Kenny, why don't you start with what we recently covered, and I'll talk about what we're going to cover. How about that?
Sounds great. Well, we just got back. Literally, the wash is done, the dry cleaning's done from the Niagara Summit. The 2016 Summit was just an amazing adventure held in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we had the opportunity. Eric and I in Controltrends were deeply immersed in the activities. We covered the day one, the reception of 1,300 people from around the world, probably the top systems integrators in the world. And then a lot of the key end user customers, the real estate based people. We had application engineers and very specific esoteric people for the HVAC building automation world. So day one, we had an incredible event. We had a police escort, Mardi Gras style, with everybody dancing, moving around the streets down into the incredible amphitheater. They had the Champion Square, which was right next to the Superdome. And if you remember, several years ago, that was a disaster because of the unfortunate incident happened, the Hurricane Katrina, and the subsequent, disparaging situation with people just being forced to live in the Superdome for, I think, 3-4 months. So New Orleans has completely recovered, and just really excited about the city. But we got down to business on day one. Had some very, very intelligent projections. Actually, Niagara and Nita DeCosmo, who's the CEO and general manager of Tritium, basically laid down the future roadmap of where this is going to go. Niagara 4 now is the 4th generation of the Niagara software, and it's just starting. It's a software platform that allows anybody that really understands how things turn off and on, any kind of motion, anything to do with the technology around our world. You can use Niagara platform to enhance that. So he talked about the value streams that are being created, all the good stuff. Then we had to break out all the technical stuff. I mean, day one, day two, day three actually was full of networking and an absorption, an aggregation of intelligent people that collaborated kind of in a willing free-for-all type of a manner. So you had the smartest guy from Australia talking to a guy from Germany, sitting next to a guy from Canada, and sitting next to me, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and just the conversations were extraordinary. So we covered the Niagara 2016 Summit, and it was just an incredible event for the industry and for me personally.
Yeah, and Samir, next about 4 weeks, we head out to San Jose, California to the Ibicon Realcomm show, which is kind of like if you take Niagara and then you add all the real estate people in, you sort of get that. So I think you've probably seen some interviews we've done with Jim Young, Howard Berger, that team from Realcomm Ibicon. So at that particular juncture, it's sort of really the intersection of technology and the customers, because these are the top real estate people from around the planet that come in and are really, really ahead of the curve sort of regarding technology. So we'll be covering that as well. So excited about that.
Eric, if I may, something that Eric and I are very excited about in the future, Samir, is to come one day and visit Controltrends India and
Absolutely.
See what's, you could take us through the Indian world and show us what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we'd be remiss to say, Samir, very much that we really, really appreciate all our followers in India. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. India is a market. Kenny and I and Samir are talking about having a Controltrends Awards in India. So we're looking forward to that as well.
So huge applause for keeping your heads about sharing this wonderful news around events in the US. And yes, of course, the India scene is really looking, it's rocking, I would say. I have two events that I'm covering in this week. We have the 72nd Conference of Facility Managers in Mumbai, which is on the 26th of May, and then 27th and 28th I will be in Goa covering the Project Architects and Consultants Conclave. So this week is going to be exciting to us too. So thanks a lot, both of you, and you guys actually deserve a huge applause for keeping your heads above the water while handling your day jobs. So wonderful, wonderful. This is completely a dream come true for a fan of yours. I'm actually one of your biggest fans. You also know that. And I'm absolutely privileged to be interviewing both of you. And as a matter of fact, I must be the only guy who has interviewed you, who had the opportunity to interview you. So
I was going to say, Samir, and Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Samir has the honor of being the first person to ever interview the two of us. We do a lot of interviewing, but I think this is the first time we've ever been interviewed. So let us know how we did in comments.
You guys rock. You're wonderful. So thank you very much, and I thank all the viewers for tuning in onto the show. And we would love to have your comments and your feedback on email. Please note down the email. It's controltrendsindia@gmail.com. So thanks once again, and goodbye, and have a great week. Have a great weekend, and stay in control.
Ha ha! Well done, indeed, Samir. Thank you.